how is it opening for Jordan Peterson? What kind of crowd is that? Because you're not doing are you doing open it with stand up, or it's different?
It's mostly crowd work, and I like drop some funny references about him, and he sounds like Kermit the Frog, and he talks about lobsters a lot of like insider Jordan stuff. But it was incredible. I mean, we did a year and a half together, 120 shows, something like 20 countries. I went to all these places, not only in America, but all over the world that I had never been to. Finland, Sweden, I'd never been to Ireland before.
How big are the crowds when he goes to Finland, Sweden?
Well, the Sweden shows were incredible because Sweden has a major political correctness problem because they really view conformity as good in Sweden. So it's always very funny when all the AOCs and Bernie, they were like, we should be more like Sweden. It's like, well, actually what you're saying is we should be like this absurdly tiny, homogenous country that now in the last couple of years, they've let in immigrants and now they have all sorts of problems. So they don't even know what they're talking about. But Sweden, the show sold out literally in a minute. So we added a second one. So we left Sweden, I think we went to Finland and came back. The shows mostly were in theaters that were like probably 2,000 to 6,000. I think 6 was the biggest.
Big boy.
Every single show was sold out. I think maybe except for one. I think the show in Dallas, they put us in the Toyota Center. Have you ever been there? It's like, it's not a theater. It's basically like a giant convention center. Wow. So you can't sell it out because you could just
following.
He changed people's lives. Yeah. I saw things that you cannot imagine. I'm talking people off drugs, every addiction. Name an addiction, he solved people's addictions. I'll give you one. We finished the show in Dublin, and when you walk out the artist entrance because he doesn't want to get mobbed right out in front. And he's had a day. I mean, we got to town that morning, signing all the autographs, all the meet and greets, taking all the pictures, the press hits, an hour and a half lecture that was different every night. He's beat. It's like 1 a.m. We walk out the side and we see these two guys in the alleyway. And one's like about 60, the other one's maybe 25 or so. And they're both crying and they're hugging. They kind of run up to us. And it turns out that it's a father and son who had a falling out 5 years before, had not seen each other in 5 years. They both bought the book.
Oh, wow.
Then both ended up at the show, saw each other.
Come on.
And made amends that night. Tell us the story. Now, Jordan starts crying. His wife with us. She starts crying. The tour manager, John, starts crying. I start crying. I mean, it was like, you can't make something more real. And when they make the movie about Jordan and when they remake that scene, it will not be as powerful as it was. It was like,
how's he doing right now?
So I can't say anything that's not public.
Yeah.
I spoke to him last week, and I saw him a few months ago. He's getting better.
Good.
They try to frame it like was like a drug addict and all this stuff. He was very open about it. His wife, in the midst of his success, in the midst of like this unprecedented worldwide, like crazy success, his wife was diagnosed with terminal cancer. I was out to lunch with him in I think we were in Des Moines when he got the call. And we continued. He continued. And he was very open about being on a very small amount of Klonopin, which is an anti-anxiety drug. And then as things got worse with her and she wasn't able to tour with us, he upped the amount. And he regrets it, and he did. And then what happens with some of these anti-anxieties is it actually has, they call it a rubber band reaction or something, where you actually end up, instead of being, the idea is that if you take more, you're going to have less anxiety. Yeah. But eventually it just actually does the complete reverse.
Jesus.
But he's getting better. He's getting better. His book's coming out, I think, in November.
And what's his thoughts on, obviously he's not here, but what's his thoughts on COVID and all this?
The only thing I can say is that what Jordan, I think, wants to fight in this world more than anything else is authoritarian governments.
Love it.
That is his main thing, that he wants to stop. He wants people to be free.
It's just
exactly
amazing.
What I said at the beginning.
It's amazing how authoritarian these quote unquote liberal governments are.
Yeah.
It's amazing how authoritarian someone like Gavin Newsom and Eric Garcetti are right now.
Yeah.
Watch your tone.
Okay. What's going to happen? What are you going to do? Use some of that boxing you've been doing?
Don't you fucking disrespect. Hey.